Hello everybody, this is Dheera Kitchlu for my Clever Clock channel. Today I'm going to read you a poem from my book Nippy, Nipper and Others. The name of the poem is Kalu Bhalu. Kalu Bhalu had a comfortable life. He had 3 cubs and a sensible wife. But to all it was quite plain that Kalu had a kinky brain. He devoured beehives whole for honey. He had a fascination for paper money. He liked the feel and smell of notes. He stashed them in his coats and totes. And in this most peculiar bent, he imitated a certain quirky gent. Mr. Singh was thin and lank. He was the manager of State Bank. Singh sat in his office overlooking the boats. He issued orders and counted notes. Now you may wonder how Bhalu got money. He dispatched his wife with a great big gunny. Gentle Kali was forced to frown and terrorize the people of the town. She always returned with her sack overflowing, but she was resentful and the feeling kept growing. One day Kali abandoned her post, went off on a cruise to the Kerala coast. "Who cares?" growled Bhalu, scratching his head. "We do," shouted the cubs. "We feel her lack." The cubs became bratty. They decided to fly. They bought gas balloons and rose up to the sky. They floated a while in the silent blue, but soon the high wind rose and flew. The 3 cubs over the big dark jungle, notorious for the carnivorous mangle. As it grew dark, the balloons went pop, and the 3 cubs began to drop, drop, drop. Down they fell faster and faster, and then, just before the final disaster, they landed with a sloosh atop the feathery trees which cushioned their drop. Mangal raised his mighty head. He sniffed the air, the quadruped. He bellowed, and from his double-barreled nose an orange sheet of flame arose. Mangal sniffed, smelt young cub meat. He moved in quick for a tandoori treat. The suspended cubs felt the forest tense. The air of dread was something intense. The darkening jungle became eerily silent. The green earth shook, atrociously violent. Mighty Mangal galloped into view, his eyes blood red, an alarming hue. He spied the cubs hanging like buntings. He spat fire, made terrible gruntings. The cubs were scared. They quivered and froze, while Mangal tried to get at their toes. Where was Kalu, you may wonder? He was raving, falling asunder. No notes to count, no cubs to scare. He was screaming out in despair. Chillam Cheel, with his eagle eye, came home to roost, and as he flew by the great big jungle, he saw in a flash the mighty Mangal behaving brash. Chillam forgot that he was tired. He had to save the cubs from being fired. "Chee!" he called. "Chee! That's not fair!" He raised an alarm and alerted Kalu Bear. Now, do you remember Bank Manager Singh? He was in the jungle taping a roaring. In his hand, he held a gun, a dangerous double-barreled one. He heard the cheel and fired high up into the darkening sky. The blast scared Mangal. He stood rooted. Then up he left and off he scooted. Back to his den without a backward glance. The shock of the gunshot left him askance. At this precise moment, Kalu announced his hairy black presence with a pronounced snarl and growl which the cubs recognized. It was a sound they had often criticized. This story has a happy ending, though the cubs missed Kali, which was heart-rending. Kalu repented and became a good father. He gave up money, honey, and he would rather cook and clean and look after his cubs. He lovingly fed them deep-fried grubs. Life took on a rosy hue until one day, quite out of the blue, Kali returned with a lovely suntan. She wore a hat and carried a leaf fan. Kalu was delirious with this happy godsend, and here is where the story must end. I hope you enjoyed that. See you again. Bye bye.